Welcome back. Chapter 1, Lesson 1 and 2, Review. Okay, so we started out the week learning different ways of representing addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. I posted posters for you guys to look over. They are still there. They will remain there. I just want to review over a few words that mean add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Okay, I also added the signs underneath here, so it'd just be an extra reminder. Okay, in the first line, I listed out the most common or most frequently used words to represent each operation. Sum for addition, difference for subtraction, of for multiplication, and quotient for division. Okay. Then I continued on with some more frequently used words for each of the categories here. I want to hit on twice. That's one thing I didn't cover in the lesson. If you see the word twice, that means you are multiplying by 2. Multiplying by 2. Okay, if you're splitting something, you're also dividing it. That one comes up frequently. Increased is addition. If you're reducing something, you're subtracting. Okay, if twice is multiplying by 2, triple is going to be multiplying by 3. And if you are sharing something with your friends, you're going to have to split it or divide it up. Okay, I just wanted to refresh on those, just briefly. Before we start the review examples, I'm going to throw in a little tidbit about myself, which is part of your homework, because there's no actual math homework on this lesson. So, just wanted to let you know for your answers that I always back in the garage. Moving on to our first example here. Jack has $15. He spends $12 to buy headphones at Walmart. So if you are spending money, are we adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? We're subtracting. So $15 minus $12 would be how we write our expression for this review example. Okay, our second review example for expressions. Mrs. Cootie needs to split 24 cookies between her math and study skills class. So one thing that I noticed that's different here, I only see one number in this problem. Every other problem I've gave you guys has always had 2 numbers in it. Okay, so we know we're going to use the 24, obviously. But Mrs. Cootie needs to split. If I'm splitting, I am dividing. Okay, so 24 cookies, I'm going to divide those, but by what? Between her math and study skills class. So how many classes are there? There are 2. I could have worded this different. I could have just said Mrs. Cootie needs to split 24 cookies between her 2 classes, but I made you do some of the thinking there to come up with the 2. Okay. One more tidbit of information you will need is my vehicle is black. Okay. On example number 3, we are going to use order of operations to solve this problem. So before we start the actual problem, let's stop and think, what was that word or acronym that we used to remember what the order of operations are? It was PEMDAS. And if you remember, it stood for please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Okay, please were parentheses. E was for exponents. M was for multiply. D divide. A for add, and S for subtract. And just remember that if both of these were in your problem, if you had multiply and divide, you did it from left to right. And the same situation for add and subtract. If you have both of them in a problem, you work the one on the left first and then go over to the one on the right. Same scenario if you have two sets of parentheses. You work the left one first, the right one second. All right, so let's look back at example 3. I have addition and multiplication. So addition, multiplication. Multiplication comes first. So 5 and 4. 5 times 4 is 5, 10, 15, 20. And I always said we have to bring down what we don't use. So we used all of this part because I put the little down arrow there. We didn't use the plus sign. We didn't use the 1. And 1 plus 20 is 21. Example number 4. Before I do example number 4, the next tidbit of information about me is my favorite food is Chinese food. And if you want to be specific, I absolutely love pot stickers. So, or maybe they're not pot stickers, maybe they're dumplings. I always have trouble ordering this at the restaurant. Whichever ones are steamed, those are the ones that I like. I'll eat any of it, but those are my favorite. And then crab ragout. But I like it the next day, cold from the fridge. So, example number 4. We are using order of operations to solve this. Look at our problem. We've got addition, parentheses. So when I get to the parentheses, and I see there's no more, I can automatically stop because I know I have to do parentheses first. So, if I do my parentheses first, 6 times 2, 12. I bring down the stuff that I didn't use, 27 plus, I've got my 12, I need another plus, and a 1. Okay, so I've got all addition in this problem. If I have all addition, I work it from left to right. So I need to figure out what 27 plus 12 is. So if you need to use a calculator, do it. If you want to stack it up like that, go over to the side and do it. So 7, 8, 9. 2 plus 1, 3. Bring down what you don't use. And 39 and 1 make 40. I drew the lines and I didn't explain that. In case you don't remember, it should always come down to, I say a point, it's not coming down to an exact point, but it should follow that shape if you show your work correctly. All right, on to lesson 3. We are briefly covering this. See my page? That's all we're covering right there. I'm just introducing it to you. That way, on Tuesday, hopefully you remember something, because it's a long weekend. And in case you didn't know, on Monday you are not required to take attendance. You are not required to check in. I'm not going to be here. You're not going to be here. We get a long weekend. And after these 2 weeks of school, this craziness, it is much needed. I don't know about you guys. All right, so when we come in on Tuesday, this is what we are going to start with. It's lesson 3, place value and rounding. I just wanted to hit on the place values with you guys, and we're going to be done. Okay? So in probably maybe first grade, I think I might have learned this, but that was a long time ago. We had to learn our ones, our tens, our hundreds. We had thousands, we had 10,000s, and we had to learn our place values. Okay, so these you should already know. Okay, if I have a number, I'm going to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so if 123 is my number, and I'm asked, hey, what's in the ones spot? How many ones do I have here? My answer is 3. Okay, so you just need to remember what these are. Hundreds, tens, ones. The new stuff that you probably haven't learned yet, or you may have started last year, is behind the decimal. We have tenths, hundredths, and thousands. Okay? Notice these end in THS, THS, THS. Okay, anything that's behind the decimal, no matter what word it is, it will end in THS. So that's the sign that, hey, I'm behind the decimal on the right side. Okay, we'll go more into detail about this tomorrow. No, not tomorrow, on Tuesday. And we'll obviously have examples down here at the bottom of the page, and we'll have homework and all that stuff. You know, the weekend will be over. But in the meantime, enjoy your long weekend. Answer the few questions to prove to me that you watched this video. And if you're needing the last question, let me see how I worded the last question. Okay, so it was, Miss Cootie never leaves home without, there's several things I never leave home without, but sometimes I forget them. The one thing I never leave home without and I never forget is a drink. And my drink is usually unsweet tea, but not always. And if I forget it, I'm usually in somewhat of a bad mood. So enjoy your weekend. Answer those few questions to show me you actually watched the video, and I will see you, I guess, through another video on Tuesday. Bye, guys. Have a good weekend.